What's up, and welcome back to Rumor Has It Official. Let's get straight into talking about 90 Day Fiance. This is part 1 of season 7, episode 4, and the title of this episode is You Don't Forget Your Past. Let's start off with Michael and Juliana. So Juliana and the kids bonded immediately, Michael says. While Juliana is doing her hair, Michael's daughter, Cece, comes in the bathroom and wants her to do her hair just like hers. It's obvious that these kids see her as a big sister. Nothing more. I can guarantee you if she tried to give them a sense of direction, discipline them, tell them not to do something, I don't think that they would listen to her. Because like I said, I feel like they really see her as a big sister. Now, moving on, Michael's ex-wife is coming over to meet Juliana. And Michael says that he feels as long as Juliana is sincere, things will go okay. His ex says that she's excited to see her dogs, kids, and then Juliana. When his ex-wife enters the home, they have a seat at the dinner table. When the ex-wife sits down at the table, she says to Juliana, "How do you see your role fitting into this family?" Juliana says that she's lost. So she then directs that question over to Michael. And he says that she won't replace you, but it would be great to have her around as a resource. His ex-wife says that her kids have a great mom and a great father, and she doesn't want Juliana parenting her kids at all. Michael says that his hope is that everything will smooth out. Now, if this was the case of Juliana being much more mature, an older woman, say if she was older, I'm just speaking if she was an older woman, more mature, and they planned on getting a home, starting a family, and being married to one another. When those children enter the home, if Juliana tells them to do something, they should respect what she tells them. Now, in this case, Juliana is 20-something years old. To me, she's a kid herself. I mean, I can understand why the mom wouldn't want her to parent. Let's move on to Robert and Anny. So Anny is going to meet Bryson's grandparents, and this is his grandparents on his mother's side. Stephanie and Ben, they find it very strange. Now, this is the grandparents, Stephanie and Ben. They find it very strange and weird how Robert didn't tell them anything about this relationship. And they say they see him every other weekend. They're concerned that he brought her to a household with his child. He had only known her for one day before he proposed. I'm not in agreement with that either. So when Anny meets Stephanie and Ben, Stephanie then decides that she wants to pull Anny to the side. And she tells her that she is a porn star. And Anny says that she's not her family. She's disgusting. And she's nothing to her. She was disgusted, like she said. Anny is very defensive with Stephanie. And Stephanie is prying and overstepping her boundaries. She went as far as to say, "Are you on birth control?" So her wanting to know if Anny is on birth control, it was out of pocket. It was out of line. And I can't really say that I fault Anny for how she responded or came back toward her, giving her the cold shoulder. At one point, Annie's just like, "Are you done? Are we finished?" And she gets up and leaves. She feels like the meeting was pointless. And I feel like there's one thing if you're talking about your grandson, but you are prying in her personal business. So I feel like that was really out of line. It was wrong. I really want to know your thoughts and opinions on that scene with Anny and Stephanie. And Stephanie, again, is Bryson's grandmother. So comment down below and let me know your thoughts. One thing I thought it was super funny was, if you all remember Anny, when she was mad because Robert took her to the secondhand store, she made a comment when they got in the car about how back home, she buys her own high-end fashion and, all these designer labels, right? But I noticed that Anny was rocking her fake Louis and that fake Gucci belt. And I just about wanted to fall out because you could definitely tell that Louis purse and that Gucci belt, it wasn't real. So moving on, let's move on to Mike and Natalie. So there's been a hold on Natalie's visa, and it's been 6 months since they've last seen each other. Mike, he decides to go to Ukraine to see Natalie, and he's hoping to check on why the visa was put on hold. While Mike is boarding his flight, Natalie is with her friends shopping. She tells the camera crew that she went through a divorce as well. around the same time as Mike went through his divorce. And when she met Mike, he felt like home. Her friend, one of her friends, I should say, was very judgmental, saying things like, Americans only drink Coca-Cola and eat hamburgers, that they love. She said they love Coca-Cola and they eat hamburgers, and saying, that's what she read, inquiring about, well, didn't he lose weight? And just very, very rude. There's one thing about protecting your friend and being curious to know or concerned about the choices that they're making. But at the end of the day, Natalie is a grown-tail woman. So I feel like a lot of the things that her friend was wanting to know and was questioning her about was just too much. Like I said, talking about his weight, and I wasn't in agreement with that. I didn't like that. So she even goes as far as to inquire about Michael and his financial status, comparing it to that of her ex-husbands. She compared Natalie's ex-husband to Mike, wanting to know how much he earned, what he does. And Natalie tells her friends that she felt like she was being attacked. So Natalie is 35 years old, and it's none of her friends' business nor their life. It is up to Natalie, when you're getting to know a person, to inquire about what they do, about their past. And it is up to her, because this is someone she's trying to be with, to truly get to know him, to take her time and get to know him. This is not the case. You can't just blame it off on one person and say, okay, well, I'm wondering what their intentions are, when your friend is involving herself with him. She's even going to the extent of saying she wants to have babies. They haven't even completed the night. She hasn't even got approved for her visa, and she's already trying to have babies. I'm assuming that she feels like having those babies is going to get her to America quicker. But comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Let's move on to Anna and Marcel. So far, Marcel doesn't like America, and things haven't gone well in the few weeks that he's been here. So Anna decides to take him to see her bees. And Marcel says that Anna is a basic beekeeper, but he can't say that she's a good one. Now, he's been beekeeping since he was about 8 years old, he said. So he's on another level with it. Now, where this should be something that they have in common, it still was like, you're not on my level when it comes to this. That's just how I kind of took it when he was talking about her. So Marcel says that he felt happy because he felt more at home. Anna says that she felt like it was the moment that they needed. Let's move on to Tanya and Syngin. So Tanya and Syngin are on their way to the shed. The shed isn't even ready. Basically, old girl done lied and told Syngin that it was ready, it was prepared. And Tanya, I just feel like she ought to be a doggone shame of herself. When they walk into this shed, it needs to be renovated. Syngin says that he felt frustrated and taken back by all of this. Plus, there's no bathroom or anything like that in there, no kitchen sink, nothing. They still need to, they'll basically be sleeping in there, but they'll still need to go through to her mama's house and use her bathroom and kitchen to cook and eat food. I mean, she's so wrong for this. So Tanya's attitude is like, basically when he's saying, wow, I'm really kind of taken back. This is very frustrating. She's basically like, suck it up. I think that she didn't even attempt to do anything and wanted him to do everything. Syngin says that he feels overwhelmed and that they can tackle this project or these renovations in the morning. Now, when Syngin says that let's tackle this in the morning, Tanya is like, I could have pulled an all-nighter and started renovations tonight. She is out of her mind. Now, let's move on to Blake. So Blake is new to the cast. He's 29 years old. He's an audio engineer and a music producer. He lives in LA, and his fiance is Jasmin, who is from Finland. Now, they speed everything up for this couple. So they show Blake getting an Uber to head to the airport to pick her up. So Blake says that he's been naive in some of his past relationships. Now, he says he's been naive, but I say that he is still naive. He adds that he was married at 19 and divorced at 23. Blake says that they had two different career paths, and he was really driven on doing his music, which resulted into them not seeing each other much. After his divorce, his friend convinced him to download this dating app. He says within a day, he was connected with Jasmin. Now, the first flag is the fact that Jasmin, she lied to him about where she lived. She lives in Finland and told him that she lived in LA. Blake went to visit Jasmin, and on the first trip, he says that he realized that he wanted to spend the rest of his life with her. So the third trip, he decided to propose. He then applied for the K1 visa and she got approved. Blake says that a lot of people are skeptical of his relationship. He's living with his mom. So Blake's mom is wondering how Jasmin is going to fit in their living arrangement. Now, Blake's mom and friend Rita have reservations. And I think looking at this whole thing, you can already, he didn't even need to tell his story. And I think all of us are like, this is not going to work out. She's definitely using him. So before he gets to the airport, he stops to pick up her sister, who lives 10 minutes away from him. Her sister entered the green card lottery and won. So this is really taking their storyline to another level. I don't believe it for 1 second. I don't believe anything that they're saying. There's a lot of little things that I'm noticing during his one-on-one time with the camera crew that I just feel like either these producers he's coming up with this stuff, or the producers, they're feeding him his storyline. So I need to hear all of your thoughts in the comment section down below on 90 Day Fiance. This was part 1 of season 7, episode 4. Again, the title of this episode was You Don't Forget Your Past. Leave your comments down below. Give this video a big thumbs up. Share it with a friend who also loves watching 90 Day Fiance. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll be notified on the next time that I make an upload. And I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.